Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, viewers from all over the world. Thank you for joining us once again on Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. We do this every day where we look at the newspapers, we review the newspapers. Then, of course, we dive into conversations, important conversations around the nation and, of course, around the world. And we always say it as it is. That's exactly what we do here. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. Here in this city and from wherever you're viewing us from, it's a beautiful Thursday morning. Emeka Daniel is my name. Thank you once again for joining us. And of course, it promises to be a wonderful show today. You do not want to miss any part, any segment of the program. I'm not alone in the studio. Good morning, Femi.
Good morning, Daniel.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Great.
Well, thank God for life. And it's good to be back here today doing these as we usually do, having very critical conversations about this nation called Nigeria. We look at the headlines, then we talk about these issues. Femi Ojo is my name, and it feels good to be here on this Thursday morning, in which some people call Throwback Thursday. But we are here and we have a lot of work to do. Many things to really talk about actually, but time is really of essence. Today, sir, would rather go for the newspapers as we currently have them. Stay with us. All right, we'll quick start the newspaper segment from the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust newspaper. How hot money remittances drive Abuja's property boom. How hot money remittances drive Abuja's property boom. All right, and you have some statistics and pictorial data there, and it's about the highbrow areas and of course the lowbrow areas. Cost of residential properties in Abuja, for example, in Gwarimpa, 600 million naira to 1.2 billion naira, depending on the size and location. All right, in Jabi, 700 million naira to 1 billion naira for Sami detached duplex, a 6-bedroom fully detached. And in Wuye, 800 million naira to 1.5 billion naira. That's for 5 to 7-bedroom duplexes. And Garki, 150 million naira to 900 million naira for a 4-bedroom to 6-bedroom duplexes. And Meitama, that's from 2 billion naira to 7 billion naira for a 7 to 5-bedroom mansion. And Katampe, 850 million naira to 1.5 billion naira for a 5-bedroom detached duplexes. Asokoro, all right, from 2.5 billion naira to 5 billion naira for a 5 to 7-bedroom mansion. And Guzape, 3.5 billion naira for a mansion villa on a 1,000 square kilometers piece of land. That's for the highbrow areas. And for the lowbrow areas, you talk about Kubwa, Buari, and Buari. 2 to 3-bedroom blocks of flats can be put up from 40 million naira to 100 million naira. And Lugbe airport area and Apple, 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex and 3-bedroom terrace duplex goes for 75 million naira to 115 million naira. While in Idu, 5-bedroom fully detached duplex goes for 250 million naira to 300 million naira. Then you talk about rent and purchase of commercial properties. It goes on, and these are the issues. Daniel, you lived in Abuja before, so yeah. Which one was yours? The highbrow or the lowbrow or the middle brow?
Living
or lowbrow?
According to how they put it here, it should be lowbrow actually. Yeah, no, there's nothing to because I was working in Buari, so I had to stay in Buari. Obviously. And but funny now, Buari, interestingly, prices are still, low in Buari, which is quite good because Buari has to houses rather a lot of, institutions in Buari. We have the law school in Buari. I was staying close to the law school. We have the law school in Buari. You have universities in Buhari, like Veritas University, so many other organizations in Buhari.
So that means it depends, 40 million naira to 100 million naira.
Yeah, compared to places like Asokoro, and of course...
That's why it's designated as lowbrow and highbrow, just like the mainland in Lagos and the islands and the lowlands as well. And the place they call offlands. You know, the Mowe, the Bafo area.
Absolutely.
All right.
But again, it's because of, like they said, hot money. I mean, most of these, look at the prices in Highbrow areas. Look at the amounts there.
I didn't mean we have time. We'll have, interrogate that further. When you say hot money, what does that mean?
Of course, we know what it means. Money gotten from, through hot means.
Not hush money. Hot money.
I say hot money. That is not so clean money. That's it, political
so
money.
Invest it in stuff.
Exactly. Stolen funds and funds that can be accounted for. Loot, exactly. Just invest. Look at the 753 duplexes, for instance. That's hot money.
Still in the same Abuja.
Yeah, that's hot money. So that's why property prices are skyrocketing in Abuja.
All right. And below that, over 1.9 million pilgrims converge on Mount Arafat today. That's it. It's always, a day before the main day. Yeah. And we wish them all the best. 1.9 million pilgrims all over the world converging at Mount Arafat. Now, blackout looms in Abuja, 3 states as electricity workers give strike notice. Massive security deployment in state FCT ahead of Salah, and Kano farmers resort to manure over high cost of fertilizer. And 20-year Emirate tussle. We accept a verdict. Jokolo's lawyer. It's been 2 decades of lawsuit about the royal, throne there. The Emir, one of the Emirates in Kebbi State, I think Gwandu Emirates. Now, Makwa flood, Niger Council's Doba has 1,610 children affected. And why we awarded gas trading other licenses to Jex Market and MDPRA. That'll be all from the Daily Trust.
And from the Daily Trust, we move to the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Just the banner headline right there. VIPs lobby presidency as FG grounds 60 private jets. VIPs lobby presidency as federal government grounds 60 private jets. You might want to find out details of that story with a rider. Customs seal of aircraft hangars at Lagos, Abuja airports over import duty default. Customs seal of hangars at Lagos and Abuja airports over import duty default. You'll find a story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And finally, from the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have Salah, Mokwa Bridge collapse, fuels tomato pepper price surge. Salah, Mokwa Bridge collapse, fuels tomato pepper price surge. With riders, ram prices soar 55% as inflation bites harder. And Lagos-Ibadan highway gridlock traps thousands. Lagos-Ibadan highway gridlock traps thousands. You find those stories on pages 2, 4, and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning, talking about preparations for Salah gridlock on Lagos-Ibadan highway right there. So if you're a road user, you might want to find alternative routes if possible, just to avoid being trapped in that unpleasant gridlock. And that'll be all from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Punch, let's look at these days newspaper. And we only have, some headlines here. Shatima Imokwa promises the federal government will rebuild flood-ravaged community. Shatima Imokwa promises federal government will rebuild a flood-ravaged community. And Oando secures $375 million Afrexim Bank facility to power upstream growth. Again, Oando secures $375 million Afrexim Bank facility to power upstream growth. And Zenith wins Best Bank in Nigeria in Global Finance Awards 2025. But where we started here on these days says Shatima Imokwa promises federal government will rebuild flood-ravaged community, and these, has been a kind of conversation on the social media space where some are saying the federal government has been slow, especially you talk about the presidency, the president himself is supposed to have visited, that community who has suffered that kind of loss and disaster that it has taken P2B. To be there, that they are the ones in government. So the president they're
always reactive and not proactive.
Exactly.
They're not taking proactive steps. They're just waiting to see, okay, let's see how devastating it will be. Then
can we afford that?
Thinking of what
do we have the buffer to contain that? How swift is our emergency management system in Nigeria? That's just the thing as well. But then we keep talking about these issues. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we talk to matters arising. Stay with us.